Hi guys, so this video is going to be just about how I got into wearing wool. It's something that I think is kind of interesting, and I guess a lot of folks would probably think, well, it's just clothes, so what's the big deal? Like, I don't know, you don't usually say like, this is how I discovered bootcut jeans, or like wearing my hair a different way. It's just kind of a funny, I guess, opener is how did I start wearing wool? But for me, it is kind of like it was kind of a major pivot point, obviously, because I started making a lot of content around this, and this has sort of become my content platform, is wearing wool and natural fibers. And how did I get there, and why did it become such an important thing for me in my wardrobe and in my content? I just thought it'd be fun to talk about it. And I started creating content about 20 years ago now. Writing is my passion. I've always written one way or the other. I've always been writing, and I was doing a lot of reviews for different products for my kids when they were little. So about 18 years ago, I would review baby brands and toddler stuff and just like gear, and I worked for a few different companies and would do like little blogs for them. It was really fun. It was something I really enjoyed, especially as parenting was just like my entire daily life. I was a stay-at-home mom. I was, parenting twins. And so that was everything I was doing, was all about parenting and kid stuff. And I really got into like all the fun brands for kids, like Trip Trap chairs was one of my big ones, like these chairs that go from baby to adulthood, like these really nice Swedish wooden chairs. That was one that I did. And then the learning tower was one I did. That's like a thing that you can put in the kitchen and the kids can help you cook, and it's so sweet, and I loved doing all that stuff. So as they got older and we started homeschooling, I did some different content. On a level, I started realizing we in the passionate enjoyment of all these things, we had accumulated way too much stuff in our house. We had a really small house. It was about 1,300 square feet in our area. That's pretty small. And then at that point I had 3 kids, and we were just stuffed into the house. Like there was a lot of stuff around us, and it was really hard to maintain all that stuff. Like to maintain our home at that point was just kind of constant. There was stuff everywhere. It was like just a lot of upkeep and cleaning and moving and shuffling and donating. Like it was just a lot. And so I came across some articles and some books then about minimalism, and I started reading everything I could on minimalism and how it could like help in your parenting journey and homeschooling and just living like the life that you picture for yourself without being bogged down by all those material things. And I just started talking to my husband, who was completely on board because he is sort of a natural minimalist. So he was very excited to hear about this concept that I was pursuing. And he was like, yeah, definitely we need to stop shopping and get rid of stuff. So we started decluttering at a very aggressive level. We started spending like evenings and weekends with major declutter projects, going through everything from our cabinets to our drawers to the shelves, the kids' rooms, our rooms, the kitchen, eventually to the attic, to the shed. We went through everything in our home multiple times, actually. And we donated carload after carload after carload of stuff. We had a very eclectic collection of items, and a lot of them just weren't serving us anymore. It had gotten out of hand. We were cleaning everything, organizing, decluttering, and just going through like this whole family renaissance and becoming mindful consumers. I just quit shopping pretty much at that point, really lightened my load. I had a lot more space. It is pretty crazy, and it adds up to a time deficit. Like you're running out of time, and the time is being sucked into things that really don't matter. So it was a great change. We did so much good in our home, so much good in our family. Like we were so much happier. And I started blogging. I blogged a ton about minimalist topics. My blogs are still out there in different ways, like, you know, blogs about the books I read, the things I did, like how it changed my perspective and how it was of value to us. So all those things, you know, that was what I was doing from a writing perspective. And that is when at some point I was served an ad on social media, I think it was Facebook, for the 100-day dress challenge from Woolland. And the first time I had considered wool in any way, shape, or form, my concept of wool was very much itchy sweaters, you know, for very cold climates. Like, I had no concept or understanding that wool could be worn for warm climates. I did not understand the benefits of wool. I thought it was warm and thought it was scratchy. I was super intrigued. At the same time, at that point, my budget for clothes was so low. I would buy all my clothes from the thrift stores. Let me contact this company and see if possibly we could do some kind of collab, and I could take some photos and write about my experience wearing these clothes. So that was my first review for Woolland, and it's 6 years now, maybe longer. I don't know. I'll check on YouTube and check my first review. So I did it. I loved it. The properties of wool that were so new to me, it was a completely different concept. It like blew my mind, honestly. I started signing up as an affiliate for different brands, and that is how the wool obsessed community kind of got its sort of inception. I opened the group, I think, 3 years ago. And so that was just an impulse thing when I opened the Facebook group. I continue to create reviews of different wool brands. It has been so much fun. I have loved trying these different pieces, and now, you know, of course, wearing wool pretty much daily has been a huge lifestyle upgrade. And I tell everyone now about how much better wool is and how finally I can understand the concept of a capsule wardrobe, whereas before I couldn't fathom how a capsule would actually work, because I felt like those clothes had to be washed all the time and I was never going to have them all clean and accessible. And so all these mix and match outfit ideas just weren't practical to me, because I'm like, okay, if you're wearing this white blouse for, you know, so many different outfit combos, once you wear that blouse once, it's dirty. So am I washing clothes every day, or am I just not really able to get all my outfits every day? Like, there's so much preached about the capsule wardrobe that I was like, I wanted to believe it, but it just didn't add up to me from a laundry standpoint. And that is because at that point in my life, all I understood was this synthetic clothing concept and having to wash clothes after every single wear because they smell, they're not clean. Like they're definitely, like, they need to be washed. These cheap synthetic fabrics are the opposite of breathable. They're not temperature regulating. They're not antimicrobial. And they're also, you know, not going to hold up to laundering over and over and over because they're just cheap and cheaply made. And so that was my concept of capsule wardrobes before I found wool. And then once I found the wool, I was like, oh, now I understand how I could actually own a few pieces of clothing and incorporate them into many outfits day after day. Now I understand how I could travel and have this small wardrobe and still, you know, repeat outfits and, you know, put the same piece into multiple uses on a trip, and that would actually work. Like, that is the difference when you have something that is temperature regulating, antimicrobial, you know, all of these amazing properties of wool, especially merino wool. So that's kind of where I'm at now, and I love doing reviews and you know, photos and videos and just trying different pieces the way they fit and sharing it with my group and sharing it sometimes on YouTube and my blog and on Insta and all the places. I do have a full-time job. I do have 3 kids, a husband, 2 dogs. So it's definitely, this is not a full-time thing. This is for sure like a very, side hustle type of role for me. So I would love to create more and more content all the time and just be doing this full time. I think that would be so fun. But at this point in my life, it's just not possible. I really appreciate you guys being here for that and sharing in this journey with me, because it's been really fun. That this is such a niche community, but like we all really love talking about something so small and narrow. It's really fun to find so many friends here in the wool community. So a community I didn't even know existed. Just thank you for being here, for, kind of cheering me on and supporting me. And of course, shopping through my, affiliate links. It makes a huge difference. I am slowly building that income, which has been really helpful for our family. It's definitely taken a lot of stress off us financially to have that little bit of extra. So I just thought it'd be fun to talk about for a little bit. So if you guys have any questions about, please drop them in the comments. And yeah, that's it. I'll talk to you guys again, and thanks.